Hey, how long have you been sitting there?
1 hour and 12 minutes. Your porch has a light.
My mother said to wait somewhere safe.
The kid was sitting on my porch steps when I got home from work. That was the first thing I noticed. Not the green skin or the pointed ears or the braids that were slightly undone from what had probably been a long day. Those things registered, but they registered second. What registered first was the posture. Knees together, hands folded in her lap, sitting with the straight-backed patience of a child who had been taught to wait correctly and was doing it, in a place she did not know, with the particular composure of someone who was not going to show that she was scared. I am Ben Harlow. I teach structural engineering at the City College 3 days a week and spend the rest of my time on consulting work and, on most evenings, making dinner for one in a house that is a few sizes too big for one person. I live on Maple Creek Drive, which is a quiet street in a town that became an integrated community 4 years ago when the Accord opened residential zoning to non-human species. We have 3 Vel families on this block alone. My next-door neighbor is Loreth. The family 2 doors down I have not entirely figured out yet, but they grow very good tomatoes and are generous with them. I had not seen this child before. "Hey," I said, coming up the front walk. "Are you okay?" She looked up at me. Dark brown eyes, large and careful. "I am waiting," she said. Her standard was very precise, the kind that children produce when they have been taught formally. My mother said to wait somewhere safe if we got separated. "Your porch has a light." I looked at my porch light. It was on, as it always was on a timer after 4:30. I had never thought of it as a signal of anything in particular. "How long have you been here?" said. 1 hour and 12 minutes, she said. "Is your mother looking for you?" "Yes," she said. "She has a locator for my bracelet." She held up her wrist. A thin silver bracelet with a small blue stone that was, now that I looked at it, faintly pulsing. "She will find me. But it takes time." "Are you hungry?" said. She considered this with the specific thoughtfulness of a child who has been told not to impose. "A little," she said. "Come inside," I said. "I'll make something." She stood. She smoothed her dress with both hands, a gesture so precisely like the way a well-raised child smooths their clothes before entering someone's home that I almost smiled. "My name is Mira," she said. "Ben," I said and held the door. She ate at my kitchen table with the careful table manners of a child who had been taught them and was applying them in an unfamiliar setting, which meant she was somewhat more formal than she might otherwise have been. She asked 2 questions about the structural drawings on my coffee table. Both questions were more informed than I would have expected from a 7-year-old, Vel or otherwise. "Your mother is an engineer," I said because the questions had a specific shape. "My mother knows many things," Mira said, with the diplomatic precision of a child who has learned when to be general. "What is her name?" said. "Vera," she said. And then, after a pause, with the additional care of someone adding necessary context, "Queen Vera." I looked at the structural drawings on my coffee table, at the simple dinner on the kitchen table, at the 7-year-old alien girl sitting in my kitchen with her braids slightly undone and her table manners impeccable. "The Queen," I said. "Yes," Mira said. "She will not be angry with you for letting me in. She will want to thank you." "How long does the locator take?" said. "At most a few hours," Mira said. "The signal was disrupted by the transit station equipment. That is how we got separated." "All right," I said. "Do you want to watch something while we wait?" She did. We watched a nature documentary about deep ocean bioluminescence, which she found extremely interesting and about which she had several well-informed observations that suggested either a very good education or a personal connection to the subject. By 9 o'clock she was asleep on my couch under the blanket I had put over her. Her braids spread on the pillow, her bracelet still faintly pulsing. I sat in the armchair and read and kept watch because that was the right thing to do. The knock came at 7:15 in the morning. I had fallen asleep in the armchair sometime after midnight and woken at 6 to find Mira still sleeping and the bracelet's pulse steady and unchanged. I had made coffee and waited, and at 7:15 there was a knock at my front door that was, in terms of its quality, the most precise and deliberate knock I had ever heard. Not loud, not impatient, simply present in the way that people knock when they have arrived somewhere they have been looking for and have found it. Open the door. She was exactly as tall as I had expected someone to be when a 7-year-old had described her as knowing many things with diplomatic care. The gold armor caught the early morning light and turned it into something the morning light had not been before. The braids were the source of Myra's braids, clearly. The same careful work, the same silver clasps, simply more of them and more elaborate. The amber eyes were warm and direct and were currently looking at me with an expression I needed a moment to process. "Mr. Harlow," she said, "I believe you have been keeping watch over my daughter." "She's been asleep since 9, I said. "She's fine. Do you want to come in?" She looked at me for a moment. "You are offering the Queen of the Velacord breakfast," she said. "I'm offering whoever's been looking for their kid all night something hot to drink," I said. "The title is incidental." Something moved in her expression. Not surprise because I suspected she was past being surprised, but something that might have been the adjacent thing to relief, which is the feeling you get when you arrive somewhere and it is exactly what it needed to be. "Yes," she said. "Thank you." She came in. Mira woke up 3 minutes later, appeared in the kitchen doorway with her braids completely loose from sleep, registered her mother at my kitchen table, and crossed the room with the specific urgency of a child who has been separated from their parent for 12 hours and is now done being composed about it. I made coffee. I made tea because the Queen did not drink coffee. I put toast on because toast was available and appropriate. The three of us sat at my kitchen table in the early morning light while Vera and Mira had the reunion that had been waiting all